Oh, baby, how
Let's get together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you and I combine?
And friends are friends forever, if the Lord's the Lord of them. All my life, you're a friend of mine.
It's CC and Adam.
Welcome to Momlennial Podcast. I'm the mom, Adam's the millennial, and Ellie over there is Miss Gen Z.
Absolutely.
The three of us had a conversation with somebody this week, and we needed to utilize FaceTime. And so I was like, and I was kind of the contact person. And so
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I'll set up a group FaceTime. And then, so I had to text Gen Z, and I'm like, how do I on my iPhone,
Get the FaceTime.
get that, and she's like, there's a little eye and a little circle, and you just click that. So it was funny because we did like establish it, although then my phone call disconnected. Of course it did. And then then you guys are all talking, and I'm trying to get back in. But the millennial lady that we were talking to, she's like, you're going to have to teach me how to do that because I don't really know how to do it either.
Gen Z. Okay, this is interesting. I actually heard someone talking about this week. They said it was like a radio host. I think he was like a Gen X, and he's a YouTube host guy. And he said, I thought my kids were going to be more helpful with my laptop and technology than they actually are.
Oh, no.
What Gen Z is smart with is the apps. They can't fix your computer, and like they'll just tell you to restart it. But if there are features within an app that need to be figured out, Gen Z is good at that. Whereas like millennials had to teach their parents and grandparents how to operate a computer, and that was a whole different ballgame.
Correct. We've been there. We
saw-
have read that script.
I saw something so funny online this week. I think it was on TikTok. And it would have been, I don't know if it was a Gen Z or a millennial who went over to help his grandparents figure out their smart TV. And he put tape over all of the buttons except for two buttons. And then he
so
wrote
smart.
on the tape, it's like on, off, channel changer. That's what I would need.
Oh yeah, that's why Roku remotes are so nice, because it's just up, down, okay, and then whatever 4 streaming services are sponsoring that version of the Roku.
I love
so you
the
can
Roku.
easily get to Netflix and stuff.
Roku reads to my brain like an Apple product. We have a TV
Yes,
in our bedroom that I cannot figure out. I got it for my birthday a couple years ago because I was like, I want a TV in our bedroom. Like for if I'm not feeling good, whatever. I've never been able to figure out how to turn that thing on, get to any of the shows I want to watch because it's not a Roku TV. It's a different kind.
She's like, Ellie, how do I get Netflix?
Get your Gen Z self over here.
I
Oh,
can't.
my word.
I just need one app. We just did that thing because you always have to renegotiate your deals with your cable providers. Because now everything
Brutal.
is run on an app, and then they just sort of hope you just don't pay attention, which I wouldn't if I was running things. Good thing I'm
wouldn't
married
either.
to the accountant, right? He's like, oh, but it's like $150 now to watch TV, and so I just need one app. I need the Discovery Plus. That's all I need. It's got HGTV and it's got TLC. And I watch my, 600-pound life and my Reno shows.
Sisters.
I don't watch anything else. I don't need any other app.
Do you guys ever remember the idea of like picking what channel you wanted for cable, and it would be $1 a channel, and that would be your plan? Like, oh, I just want 3 channels, $3.
I missed that. What era was this in?
This would have been like early 2000s, early mid 2000s. Like friends and I used to talk all the time. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if you could smorgasbord this sucker? Okay, we were middle schoolers. We didn't use the word smorgasbord, but we were like, let's pick a channel because we only watch 10 out of 100 anyways. The rest are like C-SPANs and Home Shopping Network. So why can't we just get the ones that matter?
Go back to this. I'm unaware of this time of life. What do you mean it was like $1 a channel?
Oh, this was an idea we had. This never became a real thing. But see, look how excited you got. It should have been a thing. I love how you're like,
I missed an entire generation
I'm like,
of TV.
You're paying $150 for we were paying $450.
You guys, you can't even believe this, but we used to have TVs that were like 1,000 pounds in huge wooden boxes.
I genuinely can't imagine. Like,
Well, we had one.
I can't imagine. That.
I just saw a clip. It was the Mary Tyler Moore show. And someone played a clip and she was playing pool with Dick Van Dyke. And she goes, I want to be done with this game because a movie I want to watch is starting in 2 minutes. When they were playing or a show or something, when they were playing these things, you had to sit and watch them in real time. And it used to be that they would the sound level on the commercials would be louder than the show. You want to know why?
Because you were in the other room doing something else.
Getting a snack.
And you had to come back in time.
No, you're getting a snack, and so they still wanted you to hear it because you're getting something out of the refrigerator.
That's brilliant.
I kind of miss
that's smart.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. Well,
now you get a snack whenever you want.
Now you watch a 30-second ad during the middle of your 600-pound life show while you're jumping on your trampoline.
I don't watch ads. I bought do you remember we talked about this?
Yes, we did.
And then Dave, the accountant, he wanted to save the couple bucks. I was like, nope. My shows, my shows are the length of my workouts. I don't want to sit through ads.
Then the other day, we get a text from the family group chat, and he goes, "Can I cancel Disney Plus?" And my 16-year-old sister is like, "Absolutely not! You cannot cancel Disney Plus. That's my streaming service." So now I feel like it's gotten to the point where everyone has their own streaming service that they want, and it's going to be just as expensive as cable.
It's so crazy.
I have a new nickname for Dave, who's the accountant, who now is also called the harvester because he just goes through and just sickles everything out. And he's like, cancel this. We're taking this sucker down. We're going to harvest this out of our budget.
We don't fight a ton, but we got in a big fight about that Discovery Plus app. And I was like, I contribute to the household income. Get me the ad free. And he was like, no.
It's $2 a year. Or $2 a month.
Whatever. I was like, I was
like an extra for the ad free. It's like an extra $20.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. Which is really weird because I get paid because of advertising. Because I work in radio that airs commercials. So my whole career is dependent on you listening and responding to commercials.
Okay, you know what's funny is back in the day, I was Team Cece for this. I'm going to be honest, as life moves along, I'm a little more Team Dave with this whole budget thing. I'm becoming more and more of a penny pincher as I get older. Like, bad.
You know, there's a great antidote to that.
More money.
Side hustle.
Gross. I like how one said girlfriend and one said side hustle.
Did you say girlfriend?
Yeah,
I think it is girlfriend. I was like, you'll be spending all kinds of money then.
I was going to say, then we went.
I'm like side hustle. At least Gen Z just picked up a side hustle. Can you talk about it or not really?
Did.
Oh, tell us.
So.
Spill the tea.
So I am going to be just doing an extra little job doing stuff with influencer marketing, and I'm really excited about it.
That's amazing. You're going to rock that.
No big deal. Influencer
marketing.
No big deal.
NBD.
No big deal. It's Gen Z's radio. So it's how we get all of our ads and information. It's watching influencers use products.
Well,
and truthfully, you know who gets influenced? Gen X.
Gen X.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I want to go back to you, Eliane, because I want to hear about it. But just yesterday, the accountant was like, "What? Where is? I just got a notification that FedEx is delivering something. Like, what is it?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Could be the pastel mason jar lids I just ordered because some influencer was like."
You are hook, line, sinker. Me and Dad have talked about this before. Yeah. It's like you would think he thought that me and him think very similarly. Like, oh, like what ad? Like, who was this targeting? Like, what?
Me?
Like, who's gonna buy? Mom, like she is this close to being a QVC frequent purchaser.
Oh
I think that's her next era in life, and that's like 10, 15 years down the road. But TikTok Shop is the precursor because she just pastel mason jar lids, gotta have them. Add to cart, be here in 2 days. New makeup product from this makeup girl I follow. Add to cart, will be here in 2 days.
Here's what's even wilder. I used to make fun of my mother for this because she falls for all kinds of QVC deals and stuff.
Oh dear.
The brand of foundation that I use is CC cream. It Cosmetics CC cream. Adam's like,
It's your own cream.
CC, yeah.
So you should get
You would
you
think.
should get a discount for that.
And I saw on TikTok a TikTok shop link to QVC of a discount on the It Cosmetics CC cream that was 50% off. And the NeuroGum that I use every day.
The energy
I
gum,
love
that's
this
right.
stuff.
Shop.
They're
TikTok
now
shop?
they're now exclusive. I used to buy it from their website. Now it's on TikTok shop. And by the way, use the code CC when you order. I'm just kidding. I'm not an influencer for them.
You wish.
The
Yeah, right.
last thing Ellie, I'm coming back to you, but the last thing I ordered from TikTok shop was a thing that you slide over your ceiling fan blades and it like cleans them.
Gets all the dust. Did you not like use a rag?
At the cart. At the cart. One click.
That is
Looked a
going to
lot
be
easier.
It's going to be in retirement watching QVC
One
on
click.
your
When was the last
upgraded.
time you cleaned a ceiling fan?
Exactly. That's why I needed the blue cleaner tool. Exactly.
You're going to be in 20 years watching the TV. You're like, I need that knife set that has Wi-Fi. I just all of a sudden I need that in my life.
Somebody stop me. Somebody stop me.
Also, I'll take two.
So Ellie, what is your job going to entail?
Yeah.
So basically, when companies like It Cosmetics need a campaign for a new CC cream, let's use this example. What a lot of companies now will do is they will reach out to influencers and kind of or they'll pay them to promote the product, usually by integrating it into their like morning routine or makeup routine or a get ready with me type video. So guess whose job it's going to be to find those influencers? Me.
Whoa.
Guess who
That's
you know
awesome.
who's a 50-year-old lady who loves makeup?
She could be the ceiling fan blade influencer.
Like, I know someone.
Yeah. If you ever get an account with someone who's cleaning off ceiling fan blades, let me know. And
I will.
you start on Monday, and the company's based in LA, right?
It is, yeah. Well, it's kind of it's remote, but the founders are in LA. There's some people in Florida, so I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Can we
That's
talk
amazing.
about remote?
Sure.
Like
Okay.
remote controls?
With the tape on it, with the arrows.
Yeah, with all these buttons.
There's a trend of people going back into the office, and I know it's a big thing in the government. Like it was just issued. Like you're a government worker. Get out of your jammies. You gotta come into the office. And then
Come
I
around the
heard
country.
also, I don't know if this is true, and this is not a political show, so we aren't making any kind of political statements.
Not even
but
close.
they also took away like free parking for Chuck Schumer or something. Like he's really mad about it. He's got to pay for parking in DC, and I'm like, I kind of think it's fine for government employees to get free parking. Like
You guys are probably doing okay.
you should have some kind of perk. I don't know. Anyway, don't come at me. It's not a political statement, but yeah. So they're and I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, the government wants to ensure because we're all paying for their salaries.
Oh,
They want to ensure
yeah.
that the people are like coming to work. But I work from home and I am so much more productive at home than I am when I have to go into work. I'm like, I work triple time when I'm at home and I have deadlines and I've got to accomplish these things. So I kind of don't understand why everybody's assuming it's better to work in person. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Adam, do you want to go first? Or want me to go?
I'll go. Sure. I think if you're a talker, it's bad to be at the office. Or if you have a coworker who's a talker, because now I love talking to people and I love all the people in my work. But it tempts me to talk and I don't get things done as quickly. And then you're in a little bit of a rush and a pinch where when you're at home by yourself, you literally have no choice. Okay. You could turn on TV or a movie or do laundry or clean your ceiling fan blades or whatever you want to do. But I think at home, you would be able to focus more on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
See, okay. I'm the talker. So I need social interaction and I need people. So I find myself, like I call my mom, my dad, my sister at least once a week. I have a recurring coffee date with a friend every Friday. Either we meet at a coffee shop or she comes over to my house, and we both work from home. And so we both like spend time doing our own things, but like at least we're there together. And I only have to go in the office once a month. But so I feel like if you are a talker working from home, there's ways to optimize your like time and efficiency. Because like if I have stuff to do, like I'm heads down listening to a podcast, getting it done. But in those like lulls, I find myself, it's a lot easier to scroll on your phone when there's no other coworkers that are like watching you. And not even that they're like watching you, but just thinking like, oh my gosh, like they might be looking at my computer screen thinking what I'm doing.
It's
like
true.
I'm not going to go on my phone. I'm going to do this instead. So I feel like there's an accountability piece, but also there's ways around it. If that makes like, there's ways to get your social like socialization when you're working from home. And there's also ways to like optimize your efficiency. So I feel like it really just depends on the person, and you just have to make sure that you're being like efficient and effective with your time. If that makes sense.
Wow.
That's my hot take.
I like that. I kind of scroll everywhere. Does that break
Fair.
that
too.
theory?
I do too.
Truth be told.
You can actually make it look like you're working and you're like seriously scrolling.
You got your
That's
phone
what I'm
propped
thinking.
up
I'm
on
like,
your
when
computer.
I go in the office, I'm like, is everyone actually just like working all the time? Like, this is my TikTok time. Like, what are we
couldn't
doing?
even. Well, the weird thing in my job is TikTok is work. Honestly.
True. In media.
Because it's where I get a lot of my, audio things and find out what people are talking about. I don't know. The jury's out. I think a hybrid situation maybe would be ideal, but maybe I feel that way because that's what I have. So
Best of both
I
worlds.
agree with that. Like, I like hybrid, but I also find myself when I go in the office, at least with my department, like no one's talking to each other. Like I might have a conversation with a coworker about work maybe once a day. So then it's like, well, then if I'm here and no one's talking and like everyone's at home, why should I come to the office?
Yeah. I also think most meetings could be emails.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Right. Just
So
can you send that in an email? And I don't know.
I
I think a
have
lot
a
of time, I want to hear from you too, Ad, but I think a lot of time is wasted in the office in meetings that could have been emails. And I don't know. I just feel like they're laborious. What do you think,
I have
Adam?
a friend who, back in Michigan, and they have like 5 standing meetings a week. And that doesn't include any other meetings that come up. And not kidding, 65% of their time is just meetings. And they're like, I barely get my own job done because it's so many meetings. Who needs that many meetings unless you are the government?
Death by
Nobody. Nobody.
I don't even think the government needs this many meetings.
I mean, they
Just send an
could.
email.
They could Zoom it.
Exactly.
They could Zoom it. And they don't pay for parking.
Question.
That's
True.
funny.
True. Okay. I have a little question for the generations. Not really a game, but it can be a game if you want it to be.
Oh, all right. I'm ready.
So earlier we were talking, like you said, we were talking about things, and I said, this is my hot take. So I prepped a couple, and I heard this on a podcast, and I want to hear what you guys think your generation's hot takes are.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a couple examples.
Okay.
So I would say for myself, and I think this is pretty applicable to the Gen Z as a whole, is that iced coffee is better than hot coffee 365 days a year. And Starbucks has seen an uptick in iced drinks being ordered. Multiple coffee shops will offer everything iced. I think iced coffee is better, and I will defend myself and say here's why. We are the generation of instant gratification, i.e. 2-day shipping, have it right now, have it within a couple hours, pick up at the store before you even have to shop around for it.
Yeah. 3D print.
I can drink my iced coffie as soon as I make it. I don't have to wait for it to cool down. I don't have to burn my
You don't have
tongue
to
when I
wait
drink
10
it.
seconds for it to cool down.
Well, I don't have to wait for the coffee to cool down, and then it gets too cold, and then it's like, ugh, I'm drinking this lukewarm blah, that like I have to reheat in the microwave and then wait for that to cool down, and then do you want it extra hot? Do you want it sort of hot? The milk's too cold, blah, 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 whatever.
This is a wild theory, Ellie. This is a wild theory.
Well, this is why it's called a hot take. Okay. Thank you.
It's kind of a cold take.
Maybe not.
Well,
I think it's
Cold
because
take, if
I think
you
it's
will.
because your generation is so anxious that the ice in the iced coffee they can chew on and get rid of their anxiety. That's my hot take.
I'm not
on your hot
chewing
take.
on no coffee ice.
Okay.
Iced coffee is just good. So thank
I've never
you.
had iced coffee.
I'd make you one. I used to make you one every day before you would go to work. So don't even.
Your coffee drinking is weird though because you add a bunch of like syrup in it. You add a bunch of calories to it. I just drink black coffee. Just black.
Okay,
hot
almond
coffee.
mom.
She does.
Jeez.
Okay. All right,
Want
your
some
hot
almonds as
so-
a snack.
Your generation's hot take is that iced coffee is superior.
Yes. Even when it's
Mm.
cold. I have carried an iced cold coffee to class in December in college.
You
And I
also
stand by
seem to
that.
you guys also shake the ice around in the cup.
which for somebody with misophonia is torture. It sounds like.
That's so torturous.
Very true.
You know what
No, thank
influencer?
you.
Do you know what influencer has misophonia? Alex Earl.
Yeah,
Oh.
she does.
She wears headphones to family dinners, and I'm like, I'm about there. I'm about to just wear headphones in all aspects of life.
You're just gonna walk around, and then you will be a Gen Zer because
know.
people think you're playing video games or something.
All right, Adam, do you have a hot take for your millennial generation?
So here's where it's a little. I'm just going by what the people say because I'm not a coffee drinker. Period, as you know, as everybody knows. As I literally spit out your black coffee back in the cup. Would you let me try some CC back in the day?
I forgot
It was
about that.
hot dirt.
Hot dirt.
I think it's going to be hot coffee for millennials because we've been huge for the pour over coffee over the past 10 to 12 years.
Oh, you and your French press
we're
drip
bouge
situation.
on bouge coffee.
Pour over coffee. You're right. That was
Yes.
hot for a minute.
Yeah, we started
Yep.
that, and then we started getting the fancy machines that did like 4 different things. I'm pretty sure
everyone's got a
filtered out
Breville now.
chemicals. Yeah, all that
Yep.
stuff. There's a fancy teapot that you pour now that looks like some French 18th century whatever. I can't keep up with it. But I think it'd be hot coffee. Now I will say this, I live in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if you want hot coffee in July. So
Exactly. Hot coffee when it's hot is crazy.
Well, yeah, who wants
Like-
to be hot inside when you're hot outside?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
Too much hot.
Thank you.
But do you have a hot take? Are we just talking about coffee with the hot takes, Ellie,
No,
or
it
is
can
it
be
like
anything.
a
It can
hot
be-
take?
I'll share another little one. This is just a personal hot take. I'm not claiming this over Gen Z. I'm just claiming this over myself. I don't think chocolate chips belong in brownies.
Whoa.
My hot take is that
Who hurt
chocolate
you?
chips don't belong in brownies. Because
Who
when
hurt you?
they cool because when they cool off and you
Wow.
bite into a room temperature brownie and you're expecting this like smooth fudgy texture and you're sure chomp and it's just from this hard chocolate chip that re-solidifies, it ruins the experience.
Okay. I will
So-
give you this, Ellie. I will give you this.
Yeah.
I've had it before where like you're thinking you're biting into a really soft dessert, a soft brownie, and then that one hard chocolate chip like hits your gum or tooth and you're like, what is that?
I don't even understand this conversation.
So
No.
like the hot takes can be about anything is what I'm saying. Like,
My hot
personal
take is
yeah,
my
is the
personal
brownies.
hot take is raisins don't belong in any kind of dessert anywhere ever. Period.
Well, amen to that. Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take. I would agree.
I also have a hot take.
Go for it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My hot take is that your homemade sourdough bread, it's not as good as you're pretending it is.
Oh. Oh.
You just hurt the
Oh.
millennials. You
You
just
just-
hurt all the millennials.
You could have
It's a
kicked us in the
little thick.
face.
It's a little thick, a
You could
little
have kicked us in the
chewy.
face and it would hurt less.
Hot
Wow.
take is sourdough bread should be
You
purchased
just-
at a
you
bakery
just-
that knows what they're doing.
You just like starter dissed everybody. I cannot believe this.
You just hurt
Wow.
all the sourdough starters out there.
Take your sourdough starter and go home. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous hobby. It takes way too much time. I
lot.
had friends over one time, and this is Gen X friends, and we had like a hot tub date. She brought her sourdough bread in a bowl because she had to watch it.
Oh,
I was like,
Yeah.
honey,
Stretch and folds.
yeah.
I was like,
you gotta
honey,
watch it.
you have raised children. You're an empty nester. You don't need a loaf of bread to babysit any longer. That's crazy.
True.
It's wild. I had friends who did a
Crazy.
starter, and you have to make sure that you feed it like twice a day. And that means give it some kind of flour or something, or it'll get mad or whatever.
But
And
then,
then
like, the flour for the starter is different than the flour for the bread. So now I have
Too
to buy
much.
bread
Yes.
flour and
It's too
unbleached
much.
all-purpose flour for
Yes.
something else. I'm like, what are we doing?
And then you feed it when it's warm, but then it has to be in the fridge the rest of the day to be cold. And if the temperature goes off, it gets stinky and it like fights back or something. It's super weird.
Yeah.
It's super
Hot
weird.
take: people with that make sourdough bread should get jobs, unless your job is to make sourdough bread.
Sourdough.
Oh, there you
True.
go. Go work at a bakery. That would be great. I'll have to ask millennials
Exactly.
because I'm cosmopolitan. So, and I'll tell you why in a minute why I called myself that, because I have the best story of traveling last weekend that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
But I think a bakery is a great idea for sourdough bread.
Before you talk about cosmopolitan, which I am gonna need a definition on that, do you have a hot take of something beloved from your generation or a statement of any kind?
I do. Tamagotchi should have never been made. And yet they were all the rage forever. And now they're back. And I'm so upset about it. I'm like, look, speaking of a starter, that was our digital stinking starter back in the day. You gotta feed it. You gotta make sure it's not too cold. Oh, it grew up. Oh,
See.
it died.
Anything
I mean,
you
I-
have to feed on a real regular basis
Yeah. I gotta feed
Tamagotchi.
myself.
Child.
was ridiculous. Okay.
It was too much. Yeah, that's
How
my
are
hot
they
take.
back? Are they back in the form of an app? Because now, you got the iPad kids and whatnot. Do they have Tamagotchis on their iPads or what? What's the deal?
I think they're going to release it on like updated, but those devices they used to come on before that looked like an egg shaped thing, and that had the little screen with little buttons, so you could like boop 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 go over to the food section, feed it, boop,
Well,
boop, go over the water.
inventor of the Tamagotchi, who's a butt-jillionaire, is laughing at you right now.
He's like, you
And
can go
I'm
through as
happy
many
to
as you
inform
want.
you that you can buy them for $17.93 on Amazon.
A Tamagotchi.
Bucks now.
Yep.
I'm buying
Yep.
one for Adam's birthday.
No.
What did they
If
used
I-
to be? Were they cheap before?
Probably. I
don't
bet
know,
you they
they're
were at least under $10. It was because I
Now they're
remember.
How many Tamagotchis did you have?
Well, it was the one device, but I'm pretty sure I went through like 2 a day. They're like flies. They have a 24-hour period if you do it right. And then it's sad. It just kind of like withers away, and then you get an egg again, and you're like, oh, here we go. Sometimes you try and
Okay.
keep in the egg stage so it wouldn't hatch. You'd be like, oh, I don't have to worry
One
about
time, my daughter wanted a Hatchimal, okay,
Oh,
for her
yeah.
birthday.
Yes.
And it was a big egg, and then you opened it up for your birthday, and then it sort of like grew and hatched out of an egg, and then it was a plushed animal or something. But these were like Cabbage Patch Kids, like you couldn't find them anywhere. And I mentioned, you and I were doing the morning show at that time. And I
Yes.
mentioned
Oh.
like I couldn't get my daughter a Hatchimal for her like 9th birthday.
So
And a
popular.
listener called in. Do you remember this? And she said,
Yeah.
I have an extra. I have an extra. Meet me in the Burger King parking lot in Allegan. And I did the down and dirty deal with the listener in the
You did the
Allegan
parking lot
parking lot.
deal.
I gave her cash. She gave me a Hatchimal. Piper opened it for her birthday. But then we were going to one of those like bouncy house things later for her party. So I had to
Yeah.
watch the Hatchimal, and it hatched while she was playing.
Oh,
I like run over to her.
You're like,
That's
brutal.
it
What do
was
we
very
do?
exciting for 24 hours. And then,
Yep.
So you just have to keep feeding it until it
I don't
grows out and moves out of the house, or what happens to the rest of it?
I couldn't tell you where that Hatchimal is at this very moment, but
No.
anyway.
No.
Why are you cosmopolitan?
Oh my word, you guys. I was traveling last weekend, so I went to a church up in the Phoenix area, and I was sitting by myself. And it's a older church, so there's like pews, everyone's in the rows. And one guy comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey, we have this men's retreat coming up in a few weeks. Are you interested in
This
going?"
is not your home church.
Correct.
You were
I
just
am
visiting.
2 hours away. And he comes up, and I'm like, "Well, that's a commute, so I'm not going to be able to make that stuff." And he was like, "Oh," he's like,
Commute.
It was so. He's like, "Do you go to this church?" And I was like, "No, I'm visiting from Tucson." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "I thought you went here. You just look so cosmopolitan." And I was like,
What?
First off, I don't know what that means, but I know you're wrong. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was in jeans and a button-down shirt. I combed my hair.
Cosmopolitan.
But I was
and
like,
why would that prompt him to invite you to the men's retreat? Because you appeared cosmopolitan.
I'm like, what does this even mean? I'm like, does this mean like the magazine? Is it because I got a haircut? I don't know what he's talking about. So anyways, I looked it up and it means like somebody who just looks very like respectful or very demure. So I have no idea how that happened. So it gets weirder. So that's before church. Church starts.
Is Phoenix a cosmopolitan area? Like, are the okay?
Some suburbs. Like I went to Scottsdale, and that's a really cool. Think of like a mini Nashville, but in a really nice downtown suburb.
That's
it's
cool.
really
Yeah,
cool.
a lot of girls go there
That
for
was
bachelorette parties and stuff.
Yes.
Scottsdale? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That Cosmopolitan me was walking around seeing some of those, but anyways.
Oh, hey.
I don't hi. You come here often? So I then get into church and there's this sweetest, like everybody wants to have her as a grandma lady in front of me, the pew ahead. And we go to what's called the sign of peace, where peace be with you and also with you. And she says, peace be with you. And she turns around and she says, you have a beautiful voice.
Aww.
Which is so sweet of her. Here's the thing. I wasn't singing loud enough to hear myself. There was a guy 3 pews back who had the most beautiful, professional, could be on opera voice.
Shut up.
She thought it was you.
She thought it was me.
Thank you. And
Did
then
you
move
say,
on.
well, you should see my fingerprints.
From the fingerprint. You think my singing voice is something.
Back,
Oh my gosh.
Backstory,
When I got
Adam was
fingerprinted.
told when he got fingerprinted that he had perfect fingerprints. So that's what that is about. So it was a guy 3 rows behind and she thought it
Yes.
was you. What did you
And
do? That is so awkward. How do you get out of that?
And it was the sweetest lady and it was the nicest compliment. I did not want to like be that person like, well, actually it's not me and crush it. So I was totally taken aback, but I went, thank you. I just owned it.
Had that
I
been
just
me,
totally owned
I
it.
would have been like, thank you. I'm in radio.
You should have told her you had like had an audition for American Idol like in a week or something.
You're like, that's why I'm in Phoenix. I'm here for my big break career
Wow.
rehearsal.
It is a cosmopolitan area up there.
It
You
was
got
crazy.
professional opera singers and
But here's the classic Adam moment in all this. You know me and my classic, I need to make things right. So I see the guy in the parking
Adam,
lot
Catholic
walking
guilt
out.
syndrome.
And
Oh my! Did you tell the guy?
oh yeah, I did.
You
I
invited him on the
literally-
men's retreat and then you told him that he has a beautiful voice.
I said, you look like a fellow cosmopolitan kind of guy. Let's have a chat. And I literally was like, all right, dude, I got to tell you the funniest thing.
Just
And
let
so I
it
told
go.
him, no, I said, the compliment's for you. This is not for me. This was meant for you. Anyways, he laughed and we had a great laugh about it. But I was like, I have to give credit where credit's due. I can't drive away. And so that's my cosmopolitan story. If you want more of the Momlennial podcast, well, then subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes without having to do the work, and that's totally our jam.